Hi, I'm Anna Pereira, President and CEO and Master Roaster of Yellow Brick Coffee. My love for coffee just kind of follows that whole foodie passion. Coffee has all these different characteristics, and I just love to try all the different kinds of coffees. Yeah. I was reading this book called God in a Cup that features 3 of the big roasters here in the States, and taking classes through one of those roasters' training facility in New York. So while I was reading this book and taking these classes, the director of coffee for that roasting company came in and he actually facilitated one of the cupping sessions, and that was my aha moment. I was reading about him and I was training under him. I just became so enamored with the thought of this learning process and the industry in general. Yellow Brick focuses on traceability. We're all about connecting the consumer with where the coffee comes from. One of the things that we work on or promote is direct trade. There's a woman that I work with in Honduras. She lives in the region of Solake. Her farm's called Mi Tacita. It's a small farm. She has amazing coffee and she does an amazing job producing it. She had never exported to the US before. We were actually the first people in the US to buy her coffee. It's a really cool feeling to be able to promote her and her farm and what she's doing in Honduras and bring that back to the US and teach people about it. We'll do 3 to 5 different kinds of roasts, temperatures, times, variations on the gas, the heat that we give it, to find out what specific profile highlights those unique characteristics imparted from that region. Once we've got that roasting profile narrowed down, we want to reproduce that time over time so that you get a consistent cup of coffee from your Honduras Mi Tacita every time. We'll preheat the drum, throw the coffee in there. It rotates for about 12 minutes to about 415 degrees, depending on what profile we determine is correct. After about those 12 minutes, the coffee gets dumped into the cooling tray. It rotates for another 5 to 10 minutes while it cools to room temperature. And finally, we package it and bring it out here. Speaking with the farmers, connecting with the people at origin, and whether we're able to establish a direct relationship, direct trade, or just have an exchange, learn about their culture, and tell them about our process and what we do to highlight their farm. That's by far my favorite out of everything that I do with Yellow Brick. When you get to the point where you're nearing that roasting profile, and you have to smell it every so often with the tryer, and you're watching the clock really carefully and you're watching the temperature really carefully and just trying to make sure that that all comes together every single time at that perfect point. It's probably my favorite because it's so technical.